Again, my father moved here almost 7 years ago. It'll be 7 years of renewal this year. So we just try to make it as easy as possible to move somewhere local and somewhere that was affordable.
What was your rent when you moved in?
$780 a month.
And Sean Zwifka says he and his father have seen their rent rise about 10% each year over those 7 years. This year, though, take a look at this. His renewal jumped from $995 a month to $1,645, a 65% increase.
When you opened this, what went through your mind?
Originally, my father that lives with me got the note first, and he called me and he said, "You won't believe what happened, man. You got to come home." My median income is very low, and unfortunately I work at a local credit union, and it just seems to get worse and worse. Unfortunately, it doesn't get any better for us. It's sad because my dad is 68 years old, served in the military, you know what I mean, for 8 years, and is honorably discharged and disabled. And it's just sad when I can tell my dad, like, I'm trying everything I can right now, man, but it just ain't enough. It's sad.
It's a lot to shoulder by yourself.
At 30 years old, I never thought I would be coming to the point where I feel like I'm coming homeless, to the point where my income doesn't match what I can afford.
Zwifka and his father are not the only ones seeing their rent rise. Zwifka's neighbors in his Orlando 32808 zip code have seen their rent go up more than 40% over the last year. In the state of Florida, it's gone up an average of 30%. And across the nation, renters are seeing an increase of about 14%. That's more than the rate of inflation. So what can be done about these sharp rises in rent? Well, we came here to Tallahassee, the state capital of Florida, where we found one legislator is working on a solution, but it's controversial.
My name is Anna V. Escamani, and I'm proud to serve as a State House Representative for District 47.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Are you the Florida Representative Escamani?
There's a strange dichotomy that many of us sit in between feeling invisible and feeling invincible.
I am a renter. Yeah, I've been a renter ever since I moved out, and have served in legislature. And I've moved a few times, but right now I live in Thornton Park, and I have 2 roommates.
So it even takes roommates for you to make your rent?
Correct, yeah.
Looking for a solution, Escamani and Florida State Senator Victor Torres have filed identical bills to repeal a law that blocks cities and counties from establishing rent control measures.
What our repealer does is it doesn't automatically, grant rent stabilization across the state, but it does say that a local government will have an option to explore this when there's a housing emergency, which I would argue right now we're in.
We told her about Zwifka and his father.
He just got his renewal notice. His rent is going up from $995 a month to $1,645 a month.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
So, given this man's predicament, is this something that your bill, if approved, could help?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because if our bill was passed, then the city of Orlando, for example, could declare a state of housing emergency, and they could put rent stabilization programs and say that during this time frame, you cannot increase rent by X percentage.
Proposed referendum for a 1-year rent freeze. And
in Orlando, Orange County commissioners considered declaring that emergency and freezing rent for a year. But the county's attorney there advised them against it because of the law that Escamani is trying to undo.
I'm concerned about, the wording of emergency. That's why I asked that question earlier.
The city of St. Petersburg also grappled with declaring that emergency for months, but they decided to hold off.
We are at the Orlando Union Rescue Mission in Orlando, Florida. My name is Stephanie Johnson. Some days it's good, some days it's hard, It's not easy accepting your situation at all times, but you got to get through it, so you do.
And it's here in this small room at the Orlando Union Rescue Mission
222
that Stephanie Johnson and her 2 daughters have lived in for the past 2 years.
This is my bed. Larea sleeps at the top. Michelle sleeps at the bottom if she's not in my bed. Larea actually loves to do art projects, so these are all her art projects.
Johnson's case manager here helped her get assistance that paid for community college, which helped her establish a career. Now, more assistance is helping her skip rent altogether and jump from homeless to homeowner.
I was ready to hit the ground running. I didn't want to hit the brakes. I wanted to keep the excitement. I wanted to keep that positivity going so that that dream could be a reality.
That dream came in the form of Orange County's Down Payment Assistance Program. It's like similar programs run by cities and counties across the country. Federal and state funds are used to help qualified first-time home buyers with a down payment and closing costs. Here, it's a maximum of $45,000.
Generations of watching my family grow up, like nobody really owns a home. Everybody rents or has an apartment, so it's looking at your life and accepting, what you see in front of you and not trying to challenge yourself for more. So coming here gave me time to sit down and think about where do I want to be in 5 years from now, and definitely not renting somebody else's house.
And her future.
At this point, anywhere, which wasn't a thought that I could have before, but now my oldest daughter wants to go to China one day, and that's actually possible in my mind now. So it's done a lot more than just get me a house. So it's given me a home.
I'll have you sit over here. And who else is going to be signing?
I will be, yes. I'm Paul. Nice to meet you.
Paul and Lysandra Indomenico are closing on their new home after renting for years.
Our largest increase was probably about a $500 increase, right, per month.
And they say that was the last straw.
You know what? We're probably paying more renting than we would be if we actually owned it.
They found a way to make that happen, and it's right here. They found the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, or NACA for short. The folks here say that they can help anybody buy a home no matter what their income is or what their credit score may look like. They pay the down payment, they pay the closing costs, and a lot of times they find interest rates that are below the market rate.
Before you can qualify, though, you have to go through NACA's financial management counseling, which includes creating monthly budgets and establishing a savings plan.
So this is for you to take with you as well.
The Indomenicos completed it, and we were there at the closing.
Congratulations
on their new home.
I tell you, he did it all. He put his glasses on, and he was in that computer. Oh, they sent me this, and I need to submit this. Like, I need to submit this like ASAP, like right now. Welcome.
And here's the result of that paperwork, a 3-bedroom home in a gated community in suburban Orlando.
It's exciting. We have to do a little bit of construction, or maybe a little bit more, but it's very exciting. This is it. We did it.
Solutionaries needs you to be part of the conversation. Your comments below will help us tackle new topics and track down solutions. And don't forget to subscribe.